Hello, my name is Shayna and welcome to my YouTube channel. I wanted to make an intro video so that way you guys can know who the heck you guys are dealing with here, okay? So my name is Shayna. I've been in the healthcare field for almost 8 years, I want to say. So let's just start off where it all started. So I did not know that I wanted to be a nurse. I had no idea what the heck was going on with my life. I just knew that I was in high school, I was playing a lot of sports, and I needed volunteer hours. I somehow was in National Honor Society when I was in high school, and I needed volunteer hours. So my mom was just like, you should go volunteer at the hospital. There's so many different professions to see. Of course there's nurses, there's CNAs, but there's also dietitians, there's OTs, there's PTs. There's just so many different jobs that are within the hospital that you can just see a lot and get a better understanding of where you want to work. So I started out volunteering. The hospital that I volunteered at, it was a pretty small hospital. Initially, I wanted to work with kids. So the kids floor that we had at the hospital that I volunteered at, it wasn't just for kids. Basically, the front hallway was for adult patients, and then the back hallway was for kids. And I would say the most kids I ever saw, they're all admitted at the same time, was 2 or 3. And it was your common cold RSV. If they need oxygen, I want to say if they need oxygen at all, they're transferred out. But at least if they were doing frequent neb treatments, all that, they're for sure transferred out. So we just saw the kids who their parents just didn't want to take them home, and we just did observation basically. So I didn't get to see too much of the kids. So I was like, okay, this kids floor, pediatrics floor is not really working out. I want to volunteer in the ER. And somehow, some way they allowed me to do it because I don't think you're supposed to have the ER as a place to volunteer just because there's so much going on. They don't want someone else that's there that is just someone else they have to worry about, essentially, you know? I'm not trained. I had no medical training. I'm literally just going through high school, just trying to volunteer. I'm just an extra body who's in the way when there's traumas, there's strokes, there's heart attacks. Who wants to deal with this person? People barely want a freaking nursing student, okay? So I got to volunteer in the emergency room, and I just remember it was a horrible, horrible day. There are ambulances backed up. I'm saying the medic and the EMT has this patient on a stretcher, and they're asking the charge nurse, where do you want us to go? Where do you want us to go? And the charge nurse is I don't have a room for you. Give me a second. Everything was just going crazy. And I just took a look around and I said, yep, I want to work here. I want to work here. Because even though everything was so freaking crazy, it was still organized. So I call ER as organized chaos. Everything is going up in flames, but it's very dependent on the protocols they have in place. You know, when you have a stroke that you need to do this. You know, when you have a heart attack, you need to do this. Everything was so I don't want to say evidence-based practice. Obviously it is, but I didn't know about evidence-based practice back then. I just knew that everyone had a job and they were doing it, and they're doing a damn good job of it, okay? So whatever, I was volunteering there and I was like, okay, I think I want to potentially work here. So volunteering was awesome. You did not get paid though, okay? I was doing this for free, obviously. And I say that to say that even though I think I needed 40 to 60 volunteer hours, I was volunteering 20 plus hours a week. I easily hit that goal and surpassed it, and I was still volunteering like crazy. We kind of got paid. We got $15 in the cafeteria, and I will say I got a lot of stuff for my $15 in the cafeteria, and I love to eat, so I was kind of paid, but I was like, I want some actual money. So I was volunteering all the time, and finally I got the courage to ask the charge nurse, hey, how do I work here? And she was like, if you want to work here, obviously you need to get your CNA, and you need to become a nurse, if you want to be hands-on. I was like, okay. She was like, as soon as you enroll into CNA classes and you have a few classes down, after I was a few weeks down, she's like, come back and see me and we'll get you a job here. So I was like, okay, let's get it. So I enrolled into CNA. When I was in high school, I was taking classes at my community college so I could hurry up and graduate. This is what I wanted to do. I wanted to do it yesterday. Let's get into it. So I did that. Then I started doing my CNA. And then when I still had like a month or two left of CNA classes, I came back, talked to charge nurse, and she said that they would hire me as a sitter. So a sitter is a person who works in the hospital, and they are normally assigned to one patient, and they just hang out with them. You can have a sitter mainly because you're suicidal, you're homicidal, you're a risk to yourself or others, or it's because you are a fall risk patient who doesn't know what day of the week it is, you don't know what the heck is going on, and my job is to observe you so you don't fall out of the bed and become a sicker patient, essentially. So I started doing that. The craziest thing that happened to me while I was sitting with a drunk patient, and I just remember looking at the drunk patient and being like, I don't think he's sleeping right. Like, I get that he's snoring, but something just seems off to me. I don't know what it is, but I just don't like the way he is breathing right now. So I told the doctor, and the doctor was just like, I agree. I don't think he's sleeping right either. And the doctor just, strolls over. He's super casual. Like, this guy's not breathing right, but let me just stroll on over. Strolled on over, grabbed the tongue depressor, took the tongue depressor, put it in the back of this guy's mouth, and this guy did not move at all. And I just remember him screaming, "No gag reflex, we gotta go intubate him." And they rushed him into the trauma room, and they inserted a breathing tube into this guy because he was not breathing appropriately. I just remember him being like, "Hey, good catch, sitter." And I was like, thank you. And this is like so crazy to me that happened. But ever since that occurred, that was like my first taste of medicine and seeing that type of stuff, because since I was a sitter, I was like, oh no, I have to be in the room while you guys all do this. So I got to see someone get intubated like pretty quickly, and that was just super cool. And I was just fascinated by intubations and just giving people that higher level of care. So yeah, that is the best sitter story that I have for right now. That was like first week sitter story. There's of course way more of horrible things that have happened. Yeah. But moving on, I ended up getting my CNA, and then I was ER tech. So I stayed, this is all at the same hospital I was volunteering at. So been a volunteer at this hospital, I've been a sitter at this hospital, and now I'm moving on to a tech. I just remember, I don't know if I can say this story. I might have to look at the guidelines on YouTube and see if I can say this story, or maybe we'll just save it for like another video, because you work in the ER, you see a lot of things. You see a lot of things get inserted in people. And yeah, I just need to look at the guidelines on that first before I break out that story. Whatever, I was a tech for a while. Went to nursing school. I worked a lot during the time that I was in nursing school. If I could go back, I would definitely change that and probably not have worked so much. It was amazing. It was great to see all of that in real life, but I did not spend as much time studying as I should have. And I had a lot of my professors be like, you are so good in clinicals, but test-wise, I wasn't the best test taker. So I think I could have definitely been a better test taker. I think I could exceed it in clinicals and test taking if I would have just taken the time more to study versus just be thrown into everything all the time. So that's just my one regret, I would say, in nursing school. But somehow, some way, we did survive nursing school. And I got some of the best friends that I could ever imagine. I just remember being in nursing school and the director of the nursing program being just like, look around this room. You're looking at some of your like best friends that are gonna last you a lifetime. I was like, there's no way. Like, I don't know any of these people. I don't want to know any of these people. Like, I just want to get this degree already. Like, what the heck? And then I was a freaking bridesmaid in my best friend from nursing school's wedding. So obviously, like, she is right. You are going through war together. You are going through hell and back. Like, you guys, if not anything, you guys are trauma bonded for life. So thank you to all my nursing school buddies who dragged me through, helped me through, cried me through, whined me through. It's been a time. The highlight of nursing school was A, what I just said, and then B, it was when we graduated nursing school and we all went to one of the local bars. And they have Touch Tunes. If you don't know what Touch Tunes is, it's basically like a virtual jukebox that you like connect to with like the bar that you're at. So I got on Touch Tunes and I was DJing it up per usual. I love getting the aux, okay? But I put on Congratulations by Post Malone, and all of us just went like this, and we're walking side to side, and we're all just crying because hell, okay? But we did it, we made it. So I've been a volunteer at this hospital, I've been a steward at this hospital, I've been an ER tech at this hospital, and now I'm officially a nurse at this hospital. Yay! So being a nurse there was absolutely amazing. It was super nice just to have the people, just core people to help me get through being a nurse for my earlier stages. So the hospital that I worked at was a level 2 trauma center. So we could see traumas, but we couldn't take care of them the full way through. And what I mean by that is that we could take care of someone who was in a horrible car accident, but let's say that they were paralyzed. We couldn't keep them at our hospital because we didn't have everything that was necessary to take care of them. So we would have to transfer them out. So it was okay to see the traumas initially, but we would only take care of them for like 30 minutes to an hour before we would transfer them to another hospital. And I just wasn't getting the full picture. I was take care of this, all rush, like you're just rushing around trying to help this person out, and then I'm shipping them away and I'm never finding out like what happened to them. So I just really didn't like that. So I knew eventually my end goal was going to be to work at Level 1 Trauma Center. I'll probably do a separate video on trauma centers just because there's so much to talk about, and you'll see a little bit later why I would want to make that in a video. So keep watching, okay? Dang. So when you are in nursing school, they tell you before you even graduate that you need to be applying to all these different hospitals before you even know if you're going to graduate or not. So I was applying to literally every single place. I just wanted to see where I could work at. Obviously, I ended up working at the Level 2 Trauma Center, and let's see, I graduated in May. I think it was January or December. I'm working since May all the way to like December was when they finally called me, the Level 1 Trauma Center, and they're just like, hey, we want to interview you. And I was like, it's been like 6 months, like why are you guys just now pulling my application? But then I was just like, okay, maybe I should just interview, just see what it's like, you know, like maybe this is what I need in my career. Don't get me wrong, I was so happy with what I worked at, but this would definitely be the next step that I would need to take in order to go farther in my career. So I remember being like, you know what, I'm just gonna do it. And I told my mom was just like, that's so far away. It was an hour away from where I was currently living. I already moved out of my parents' house. I already had my own apartment. My mom just didn't understand why I wanted to leave everything to go live an hour away where I knew no one. But I took the interview, I got to tour the facility, and it was just crazy. Like, I feel like they knew how badly I wanted to be a trauma nurse. And in the interview, they straight up asked me like, all right, so at this hospital, we are a Level 1 trauma center, and also they had a good SANE program. So they're like, do you want to be a trauma nurse or do you want to be a SANE nurse? I was like, I want to be a trauma nurse. I want to be a trauma nurse. I want to be a trauma nurse. Like, please make me a trauma nurse like yesterday. So they're like, okay, like if you want to take the trauma route, we will take the trauma route. So I knew when I left that interview, I was like, if I get this job, I'm taking it. Like, this is going to hurry up and get me on the right track of living my wildest dreams. So let's freaking do it. So I think I interviewed on Friday, I got a phone call on Monday saying that I was hired, and baby, I put in that 2 weeks notice same day, okay? And then my manager was just like, Yeah, it's not actually a 2 week notice. You're supposed to do a 3 weeks notice. So if you don't work like for 3 more weeks, then you're never gonna be able to work this hospital again. Where have you ever heard of a 3 week notice? I've never heard of that. Whatever. I didn't care. I was already asked to work there again. So obviously that's not true, but whatever. It happened. It's in the past now. So I did end up working at the Level 1 Trauma Center. It was so crazy because since I was a nurse for a year, I had to go through, I don't remember. Like I had to go through, I want to say like 4 or 5 more months of orientation. Because remember, I graduated in May. I started working as a nurse in like June or July. And then I flipped over to a new hospital in February. So I just got off orientation from my first job just to go on orientation all again at this Level 1 Trauma Center. But I am so thankful because I got to see so much. It was such a good learning hospital. It didn't matter where I was in the department. If there was a stroke, if there was a heart attack, if there was a trauma, they were making sure that I was in that room getting the education. There was no questions about it. Like, anyone who's on orientation, get in this room now. And I loved that mentality because you need to be like a sponge and just absorb everything that's happening. Because in the ER, you literally have no idea what's happening, okay, all the time. So I really did appreciate all that time that I did spend training. And also, you have someone that you can ask all your stupid questions to. Like, you can be like, hey, I don't know what's going on. Can you just like go over this with me? So please, a word of advice, do not try to make your training time any less than what it is. Truly take this opportunity to just see everything that you can see, ask all the questions that you can ask, because you're never going to regret that. At the end of the day, you are saving lives. You are holding someone's life in your hands. So get as much experience as you can while you still have someone who is there to kind of watch over you, okay? So I ended up working there for like a year or so. I went through TNS, which is Trauma Nurse Specialist School. It is more school, but it's better than nursing school because it is just for trauma nurses, essentially. So it's not just for ER nurses. There were some ICU nurses in my class as well, but you just learn so much more about like mechanism of trauma. You learn stats on the way I looked at it was like stats on how I'm gonna die, because it'll be like, if you're a female and your age is this and this, you're more likely gonna die of a car accident, da 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 da. I was like, oh man, this is crazy. You learn like if they're in a car accident and they are hit from this side or by SUV versus a car. It was just so amazing, just learning so much about different mechanisms of trauma, what to look for. You go back to learning about your VBGs, oh god, but it's just really good information to have. That way, like, I felt like it was a refresher of nursing school, but like pertinent nursing school that was gonna help me excel in my career. So then I worked there for about a year or so, and then I went on to travel nursing. So currently I am a travel nurse. I have completed 6 travel assignments so far, and I'm kind of taking a little break, a little hiatus. I recently got a part-time home health job, and it is just soft girl nursing era. I absolutely love it. It's definitely a huge change from working in the emergency room. In the emergency room, you treat them, you yeet them, okay? You gotta go. I say, I was taught at least, that an ER patient should be in and out of the ER in 4 hours. Whether they are admitted, whether they're discharged, wherever we're rushing them to surgery, we need to be flipping the rooms within 4 hours. So it's a lot different from going to that to having the same patient every single day, learning everything about them, talking with them, finding out what their life is like. Like, it's just completely different. So it's super nice to see a different aspect of nursing. It's always good just to have different things, different ways to learn more and to do more. So I'm super happy that I am able to do this. The patient that I'm currently caring for, he is paralyzed from the waist down. So just being able to take care of my patients a lot better who may be paralyzed or bed confined or even using wheelchairs. I learned so much about wheelchairs just during this process. So I'm super, super thankful, and I can't wait to hopefully use what I learned from this patient to help out other patients potentially. But my Christmas gift, if you will, is that I will be going back to ER nursing right around Christmas. So I'm super excited to get back into it. And my next contract will be contract number 7. It's absolutely crazy. I'm so thankful for all the people that I've met. I will definitely be doing another video about travel nursing because there's so much to unpack. What you should think about before you want to be a travel nurse. If you actually want to do it, what experience I think that you should have beyond the requirements that travel agencies have. So yes, we have so much to get into. I hope you guys like this intro video. If you guys have any ideas on what videos I should do next, if you guys have any questions, if you guys just want anything, please just let me know. Please comment and subscribe, and I hope to see you guys at the next one. Bye.